Hello guys, so today we'll be learning React. So React is a JavaScript library to create web applications. Okay, so yeah, let's just dive right into it. And yeah, will start by creating a folder. I'll just name it React for now. And inside this, I'll just use my ID. Okay, and yeah, inside this I'll just create an index.html file. Okay, so I'll use tab and uh, exclamation mark and tab to generate the React HTML boilerplate. So this will just give me a React app, or I'll just name the title to React app. And in order to use that library, we need to import the CDN. So one way to do that is to simply just go to type React CDN on Google, and yeah, you get this too. You want to import both of these, and I'll just tell you what that is. And next thing that we want to do is we want to create a script there. And now that we've imported this library, now we can actually write JavaScript here. So first I'll just create a division. I'll just name the ID to root. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Whatever we write, we want to render inside this division. Okay, so in order to do that, so I'll just do this differ so that this browser is not gonna wait for my script to load. And now I'll just create a root container. So how am I gonna do that is that I have this library imported. So this is actually the React DOM. So this is what is responsible to handle with our document object model. So let's create React DOM dot create root. So inside React DOM we have this create root method where we can actually create a container. So this is a root container, so I need to grab that element, document.get element by ID and root, right? This is the container that you want. This is this is the place, this is the element that you want to create a container, and inside this we want to render it. So in order to render this, you just need to write root.render. So this is the method inside this create root. Okay, and yeah, simply whatever you want to render, you just have to write. So we can actually write something like HTML. Let's say I want to render h1 tag. Okay, let's say hi from React. Okay, so that's it, and there we have it, the application. But notice that if I try to load this will probably want load, and let's see. So this is my file. If I try to load it, you see there is blank screen, and if I see in my element there is only division of root, and there is an ID is called root, and there is nothing else. So in my console I can see that there is on got syntax error, unexpected token. Okay, so what this is that actually what we are doing is we are writing HTML code inside script tag. That means inside JavaScript we are writing HTML code. We are trying to write this HTML syntax inside JavaScript. So naturally JS doesn't realize it, but since we are using React, since we are importing to this one is we are importing React, now we can actually write something like this HTML, but this is not the HTML, but it's somewhat similar to HTML, but this is what we call JSX. So these are eventually compiled into JavaScript objects. So in order to do that, we need some kind of compiler as well. So now we will be importing the compiler. So we will use Babel.js. The Babel.js is a compiler. This is a JavaScript compiler that we'll be using. So you can actually use and check this so that the browser can understand. So yeah, so even if React understand that this is JSX, so the browser itself doesn't understand. So in order to make sure that the browser understands it, so we will need some kind of compiler. So we will be using Babel CDN. So to import this, so here is it, and we will be using this, and yeah, just import it. Okay, so now we have imported this. We want this type to be text/Babel so that this will compile it. Now if we reload it, you see hi from React, and inside this div you see there is an h1 tag. So we actually wrote something inside this div using JavaScript only. So that's what React helps us to do. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So how we're gonna do it is that uh, so but this is not the way we actually do it. We create components in React. So components are just simply functions that we create. So let's say we want to create a function app, okay, and this function that returns JSX, okay. So return JSX means now we can actually return this, okay, this here. So now this function returns JSX means this is a component, and now we can actually render this component. So how we're gonna do this? One way to do is if you can simply call it, and this is gonna work because it returns JSX. See, this works, but that's not how we call it. In React, we just simply, since we are creating our custom component, that we are custom tag. So you can either do this, and this works. Let's see, this works, or we can either call it as a single tag, and this is gonna work as well. So yeah, so we'll just leave it as it is. So now let's see what is the difference in JSX and the HTML, okay. So in JSX what we do is it's almost similar to HTML, but we have some few differences. So let's just try to create a style, okay, and here I'll just say it's in red, the class of red, and has a color of red, okay. And this is our CSS, and we want to use it. So in normal HTML what we used to do is we just used to write class is equal to red, and then this is gonna work just fine. But the thing is, in JSX we write so this class itself is not a property in JSX, so we write class name. So this is a property in JSX. So now let's just look at it. If we reload it, so this is hyphen react and it's red, okay. So if you look here, there you see that the class name that we wrote is compiled into class is equal to red. So, and that's how it works. But notice that if we remove this name, and even if we try to compile this, it still works. See, the reason is that so if this is not a property that JSX recognizes, it will just leave it, it will just put it as it is inside the real DOM. That means, so if we just say this is a classes instead of class, in we somehow, so this here is neither a property of HTML but neither a property of JSX. So if we try to load it, so what happens is that it will just put it as it is inside the real DOM, that is class is equal to red. So yeah, so this, since this JSX doesn't recognize it, it just put it as it is. That's why the class actually worked, but that's not how you should do. So if you write class, you'll get some kind of warning. Even if this works, you'll get some kind of warning. So you have to write class name, okay. So that's the proper JSX, so you don't want to do that. So yeah, but here's the thing, so this is also a custom component, right? What if I say this has something like this, and okay, sorry, what if this is also my custom tag? So what if I say I want to write class name is equal to red here and remove this? So what happens? So this is something that should be allowed. This has to work fine, right? But the thing is, if I try to refresh it, nothing happens. And even if there's nowhere we can actually have that class name. So what happens is that, so if we try to give property on our custom elements or custom components, then what happens is that it will create a prop object like this, const props is equal to something like this, and class name to red. So it will see something similar to this. So this is actually will change into prop property inside the prop object, and this is the value, something like this. And this is actually passed into this function as the argument. So if we just see this here, this is actually passed, and if you just try to console and see this prop, you'll see, so there is no need to write this. This is internally what React does. So let's see, if I try to see, yeah, there is custom red. So you can actually provide as many props as want, and this can only be accessed by this component only, and yeah, and inside a prop object. So the name doesn't have to be prop. You can actually name whatever. You can have this value or anything. This is the first argument that, so you can still see this, and yeah, doesn't matter. uh, so so that's the concept of props in React. So that is the concept of prop in React. So let's say, what if you want to have something inside this tag? It's a hello. Okay, so what it does is just, now the props object will be uh, now inside the prop object, React will automatically put children property, and inside children, whatever you pass it inside these two tags, opening and closing tags, it will be just, it can either be HTML or it can be JSX. Okay, so it can either be JSX or it can just be simple string, it doesn't matter. So this here, now if I try to console it and let's just see, you see that there is a children hello. Okay, you see that. So you can provide so yeah, so this only works in custom elements. Okay, so inside so you have to create your own custom elements and pass values as a prop. So this prop is generally used for passing values between components, and yeah, see, we are actually passing the value here. And if you, there can be a lot of different components, and you may want to pass values throughout the components. So this props is generally used for that. So it's a very important concept in React that you need to be aware of. So yeah, that's it for now, I guess. And yeah, you see that we are using everything in just HTML. We are let's see, is there some kind of warnings here? Yeah, we need live server, as well as this should not be inline. Yeah, so these things, in order to solve these things, we will use create React app. Okay, so create React app is how we are actually gonna start our project. Yeah, through create React app. So we will bootstrap our project with create React app on our next video, and we will create a clone of this website, themoviedb, I guess, this one. Yeah, we will try to create a clone of this website on React, and we will learn along the way all the core concepts and principles of React. Okay guys, so see you in the next video. Thank you so much.